Establishing connection. Incoming transmission from Echelon.
First off, just want to say thanks to everybody for joining us on the call, and thanks to Lamby and Talon for joining us on stage to talk through some of the things that we have been working on and that we like to talk through with the community. So thanks all around to everybody. I'm excited to see that there's a lot of people in the audience because there's a lot to cover. So again, as Steele noted, we've got ground rules for the call. Please follow the server rules in chat. Most likely, there's not going to be any issues here, but please be respectful as we try to get through this together. And I do want to say we're going to try to stay on topic as best we can. The quick caveat there is we know that Prime Chain is a huge announcement. It's significant. We plan to share more soon on that. So keep your Twitter notifications on and be on the lookout for more. So this first section here, just going to talk through the growth initiatives for the foundation and kind of the strategy behind it, what we've been doing, and how that aligns with the studio and their goals. So first off, has anybody seen the post from Swish about the studio's growth pillars? He posted it recently, and it had a lot of great information in it. And I'll link it in the chat. Oh, Nan has seen it. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I'll do a quick summary for you guys. So the 5 core growth pillars for the studio are social content, influencer marketing, paid ads, tournaments, and giveaways. They've got additional focus areas: website optimization, email campaigns targeting new and existing users, campus growth programs, PR efforts, referral programs, external partnerships, and marketing campaigns tailored to specific countries through partners that they have identified. Partners like YGG, for example. So what are we doing on the growth front? What is the foundation bringing to the equation? So our overall focus for this year has been on partner and products. So what does that mean, actually? We wanted to support the studio and everything that they were doing. And there was kind of a key directive here, which was grow the player base. We also wanted to build products that make playing the game easier and more accessible for the community. The additive side of things is where we wanted to kind of plug in. So we wanted to be additive to the overall studio strategy that was outlined in Swish's tweet. So how do we come alongside the studio, help them and assist them in what they're trying to do, and do it in our way? So what you guys have seen this year is the Parallel League that came online, and it is one of the clear growth initiatives for the foundation. We made the big announcement earlier this year where the commitment of spending $500K on a prize pool for the inaugural year to kick things off. So what we wanted to do was put something out there that would grab the attention of TCG players, pros, just talented people around the world, try to bring them into this community and show them that we were for real. We saw the effect of this with prize money on some of our competitors, like Hearthstone, for example, where they ended up matching our prize pool, moving from 300 to 500. So we can see that the competition sees what we're doing. It's exciting to see one of the incumbents try to come alongside and answer the bell, so to speak. And we're excited about what that has concluded with this year. It's obviously not over yet. The Worlds are going to be an incredible event in Vegas in early 2025. And the YGG Play just capped things off recently. So an incredible event, lots of community members that are here in this chat as well as around the community online, participated, and it just showed the strength of the game. I think you guys probably seen some of the tweets come out from both the team and people that attended, uh, and the excitement around that event. So that's a great way to round out the year and build into 2025 for competitive play. The next item to talk through on the growth side of things, and Steele is going to talk about this on the product side, is the tournament app. I'll touch on that lightly so he can cover that off, but it has clear product market fit with a robust feature set that matches the needs of the player base. And we've gotten a lot of positive feedback from the community. So we're going to continue to add there. The last thing I'll touch on in terms of growth for Echelon is the streaming program. So this program aligns with the influencer marketing that the studio is doing, and really builds a player base that are trust folks that are in the community that people can watch and have fun with. That's the whole goal of streaming. So what do we learn through this? Over the course of the year, we incentivized competitive play, and that has proven to be a strong growth driver. We've seen lots of new gamers enter into the community, and then maintaining a steady group of streamers online at any given time has shown to build trust and legitimacy with those new gamers. So again, how can we both affect the top of the funnel to support the initiatives that Parallel is working on to bring new players into the community, and then how can we incentivize them to stick around, play, and compete with the best of the best? So what is next for growth? Looking ahead, well, we're currently working on a league brand refresh in collaboration with Parallel Studios. So that's currently in flight. So look for that redesign here in the coming months. Also, with the regionalization of the app, mobile coming out soon in the first quarter of 2025, we expect regionalization to happen shortly thereafter. So sometime later in Q1 or later in Q2. So bringing the game to other regions of the world where English is not the first language, and making it more accessible for people. And then lastly, we're not done. Like, this is just the first year for Parallel League. The prize pool was 500K, but there's more commitments on the way. We've seen the success here. We've seen the response from the community, and we want to put the gameplay pool to work. So tune in, stay posted. We're going to continue to double down on these efforts, and there's more to come there. So overall, that's the outline for our growth and our growth initiatives that we've had for the foundation this year. And I'd like to pass it over here to Steele to discuss what we've been working on from the product side of things to enable this growth.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Sean. Meta's pulling up a nice little diagram here, little visual for visual enjoyment. But really want to kind of quick say two things. First is caveat is like anything in development, this is projection, and some things and priorities may shift or change and new needs may emerge, especially as we collaborate with the studio and with other projects and Prime Chain. So yeah, check it out. We'll walk through this a little bit and talk about some of this stuff. But more broadly, products are kind of critical to the growth efforts, right? So the products are released and that we've released or that are in development and are on the roadmap for development are just really aimed at creating a more unique user experience and collector experience. So I think as we think about that, like how do we improve the experience across the board? How do we bring more utility to prime holders, to card holders, things like that? That's where these line up. So yeah, working from top to bottom here. The tournament app, which we're thinking about renaming Versus, as I think Meta put up here, has been really a great success. It's really the backbone for League in many ways. The validation, the data it provides, and the way we can register people really makes a smooth experience. So, sorry, I caught chat jokes here. But really, what we're excited about is this next feature rollout for the tournament app, which is monetization and beginning to bring in trusted community admins to run community organized tournaments, along with the duels, a 1 versus 1 challenge that can have some smart contract features for matchmaking and for kind of staking and challenges. And then also features, more features, more features, more features. Like we want to continue to build and iterate and improve upon the app. So adding different type best ofs, conquest formats, round robin, card banning, finalizing that, making that really intuitive and easy for admins. What this does, it really unlocks like a whole bunch of ways to play, right? Like we could introduce pauper leagues, we could introduce paragon bans. You can just kind of change up the meta, shake things up, and we really anticipate seeing some fun stuff from the community as we advance the tournament app a little bit further and make it more available. And then obviously along tournament and leagues is a little bit looped up. So Sean hinted at it, but there will be a big kickoff season 2. Next year there'll be some announcements about timeline, framing, all that. Exciting stuff there. And closely aligned to competitive play and the tournaments is bonds. And so bonds have been released. We've added new bonds. Aftermath cards are in. I believe they're powerable. Things seem to be clicking mostly. We're still tweaking bugs, fixing things here and there. It is an alpha product. Just remember that we are building and developing and finding edge cases and fixing things as we go. And the only way to do that is through using it. So we'll continue to work on that. And then we'll expand on the bonds API and documentation, making it a little bit easier for bonds to access info and utilize that info and ingest that as well. But yeah, bonds seems to be going well, working well. There's tweaks to be made, but I think overall, functionally, it's a success, and it will continue to grow. The other thing that always, gets a lot of attention is marketplace. So we are near to final with our scope of work with marketplace. There's a number of updates that are happening. We're going to change the, unlock card process, right? So you don't have to lock cards in or transfer them out or whatever. Have deck imports. We're going to integrate cross-chain payments. All these things to really just improve user experience and just across the board. That's again with marketplace, we want to have more functionality, better user experience, easier to use, right? We want to keep refining and improving. Then another couple of things, some of this stuff is we've shared and teased a little bit about, but we're also working on a profile service that's an OAuth. So we want to have a universal kind of login system for integrate with parallel games, to integrate across the Echelon apps, future partner apps, things like that, for easy sign-in, access to your information to sign into Marketplace, to sign into bonds, to sign into Marketplace. I'm sorry, I said that again. To tournament app and bonds. And then really try to draw our fragmented experience together into a kind of a unified front so that it's much easier to get to syncs, to get to the app, to see what's going on, to connect with your bond teammates, to see who's in what bond, all of these things, and give us some data and insights so that we can start to build robustness into the user ecosystem. And then obviously, what everybody is excited about is Prime Chain. This can be sparse on details, but we anticipate launching Prime Chain the first half of next year. We will have major products and syncs migrated by then, well before them, and there's a lot of redacted items that are super exciting and really compelling that we will be sharing as time permits and award and information kind of is available to be shared the next 1 to 2 months. But it's some big stuff, probably not what you're expecting, but will be very exciting. Redacted, there's always going to be something redacted, but I think with Prime Chain, there's some really big ones on redacted, I wish. And then finally, alongside growth, it's not quite a product, it's more of a program, but we really want to continue to support the studio in highlighting and Echelon, supporting the studio and Echelon in brand recognition, brand equity, brand awareness at key events, to expand to different regions and really kind of put ourselves up there in front of all these other games in Web 2 and Web 3. So major conferences like Gamescom Latam, continue to work with the YGG Play Summit. We'll run another uplink next year, probably alongside Token 2049. And we're looking to beef those up and make them more activation efforts and really highlight the developments and partnerships and everything else that's going on. So I think this touches all the high level stuff for product updates, but I think, again, take a step back, think about how this is all bringing users into the ecosystem, how Prime Chain will help to consolidate it, how the profile service consolidates and simplifies user experience. And all of this will help make it easier to onboard to Web3, to engage with Parallel, to play the games, to compete, and to socialize. So we're very excited. And again, just a reminder, this is not all that's going on. This is what we can share at this time. So, and I think now we're going to hand off to Bu. Bu's going to do his best journalistic impression here and give some interviews to Lamby and Talon. So, Bu, take it away, bud.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, great to have Lamby and Talon with us. Gonna start our chat with Lamby to sort of chat about parallel leagues, and I guess first and foremost, I'd love to go over kind of your experience in gaming in general, and like I guess competitive gaming, and then sort of from there touch on what's your journey been like through parallel leagues.
Hello. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. So
Yes.
I was actually just on a panel with Bill like just a few days back at YPS. So kind of interesting. But yeah. So the question was how's my journey through like esports and then the parallel league, right? Is that the question?
Yes.
Yeah. So for esports, kind of interesting because for me, like my whole life has just been parallel TC. Oh, I'm sorry, has just been TCGs. Like I've been doing TCGs for like my entire life. Like physical card games, Hearthstone esports, and then streaming, and then now parallel as well. So I think one thing that's really like been good for me with this whole league system, like parallel league in general, is just that like it's like a consolidated effort by parallel to like bring together all the best esports players from all like different genres of card games together in like one setting, in the parallel league to compete together. And honestly, I've enjoyed it quite a bit because I think at the end of the day, everyone of like my similar mindset, like competitors, we always need an outlet to like we need to feel the hype, we need to feel the ability to compete and win and the adrenaline from competition and stuff like that. So I think Parallel League has given most of us that. I think the system is great. Like it's been going on for 3-4 months, very regular tournaments almost every week. We can look forward to something, right? There's like patches, and then there's tournaments after patches, and then there's expansions now, and then there's tournaments after the Aftermath expansion as well. So like lots of prize money involved, lots of serious competition every weekend, and I feel like this is a very good ecosystem for me personally and everyone else. That like most of the people that I've competed with, they also really enjoy this, like the Parallel League, for lack of a better explanation. Like we really enjoy this, and I think like the key point that I want to highlight, like because I've been bantering and like rambling for quite a bit, but like I think the key point that I want to highlight for Parallel League is that every esports like TCG player that has tried to compete in this league, I think like 9 out of 10 of them, including myself, once we start, we never leave. Like once we start trying to compete in this thing, like every week you get the same people coming back. Yo, what's your lineup this week? What time is the competition? Have you signed up? Like it's the same few like pros that like join to try it out at the start, and then like we just keep coming back. So it's kind of like a one-way street. So I guess that's what the league is doing like very right. Like everyone that has joined and tried to compete in the league never really left, and we are just all here to stay and keep competing. So yeah, that's what I have to say about the league. It's really good.
Awesome. Why, I guess, like as a gamer, why do you find organized play or competitive play important to you? I guess, like, beyond just the ability to earn cash prizes, like what is it about organized competitive play that is really important to you as a player?
Yeah, so like I mentioned a bit earlier about like the mindset of competitors, right? Because I used to do sports as well, and then I did esports after that. And what Parallel's offering me is like people with my kind of mindset, which is like I guess most people try harding this Parallel League. Like it's like we kind of need this like competitive fix, like we need to have a goal. Like the goal is not just like play for fun. Like if you've been doing like card games and competing your whole life, you kind of just can't sit down there and play a card game just for fun. You kind of just naturally want to try hard. And what Parallel League is offering us is that we are rewarded for trying hard. Like the prize money is is decent, is pretty good. The competition is fierce. Like you feel like your wins are validated. You feel like your wins are highly valued. Because I remember when I just joined like the parallel about 6 months back, that was before like the influx of all the pro players coming in, right? Like at the start it was like relatively not difficult for me to climb to the top because it was not like most of the Web2 players were not exposed to parallel yet. But after many pros came into the scene, it started to become a bit harder, which means your wins become more valuable, you know, like you get more validated from winning as well. And I think people of my kind of mindset, competitors like me, we like this validation, whether we like to admit it or not. Like the validation of being like at the top amongst players that are all known to be good is the kind of validation that we seek, whether we like to admit it or not. So that's also one thing that I feel is very important that Parallel League has like sort of accomplished for me thus far.
Awesome. What do you see in the future for parallel leagues? How do you sort of evaluate the potential of this burgeoning esport to grow over the next year or two?
I mean, you guys mentioned season 2, right? Are we gonna get $1 million next year? Okay, no. Anyway, so that's just a random thing, but I feel like at the end of the day, it's very exciting because we've already, like, you guys have already like teased continuity, right? Like after Parallel League season 1, there's gonna be season 2. So I guess a lot of us like competing in this right now, we have a lot of things to look forward to. You know, like next year, it's sort of like planned, so quote unquote planned for us already. So I think like those of us that are investing our time into competing now, we know that there is at least a year or so more of longevity into like this amount of competition and effort that we put into the parallel like ecosystem. So yeah, I guess all I can say is just it's gonna be quite exciting. Can't wait for Worlds.
Nice. Yeah. I'm hyped for Worlds too. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. I guess maybe like more broadly, how do you think what do you think, kind of we need to do as a Web3 game to sort of continue to expand the player base, especially kind of towards more of the Web2 users?
Right, so I guess this one is good to reference early Hearthstone days, because I think Hearthstone maybe not doing everything right now, but they were doing a lot of things correct in the past. What Hearthstone used to do with their esports system is that, and what it made it so like glorious and like people want to be like in that spotlight is because Hearthstone used to highlight their champions really well. Like one thing about esports, it's really a really, really good platform to build superstars. You know, like you win, you get the glory, people know you, you build the fame, all that kind of thing. Like Hearthstone esports in their early days, they were really, really good at highlighting and like making people superstars. So I feel like going forward, and I think I mentioned this on multiple interviews in the past as well, whereby I think if Parallel wants to like grow their esports scene and make it like even bigger than it is right now, I think having spotlights on like players that are doing well, having like people, it's like if you give people like a story, you know, to follow of like so and so pro player, like and their journey throughout the system, throughout the league, like it's good for the fans, good for people to follow along, and it's easy for people to like get attracted to and like lean towards a certain player if you have a story built up for them. So I think one thing I would like to see, and I think it's already being done to a certain extent, I really like, and I wish that for the league, like going forward, that we build correct. It's like world building. Sorry, I think that whole thing that I mentioned earlier is all I wanted to say was like I wish there was like a lot of world building around the pro players, whereby if people who support us, they know our story, they know our journey, and then it adds value to the entire process for us as competitors as well. And I think that will attract more fans, more future competitors as well, because like we mentioned earlier, we feel very validated to be part of this ecosystem if we, you know, if you build us up properly in the right direction as well.
Awesome. All right, I got one more question for you. What features would you like to see added to the Echelon Tournament app, if any?
So the crazy thing is like normally, because I've used so many tournament apps, right? Just to name a few, like what Battlefy, and then there's a few other things as well. Like yeah, but I honestly, this app is insanely good. Like what we have right now, this tournament.sanctuary.online is literally on my other screen right now. It's super well done. It's easy to sign up. It's The tournaments are very clear. There's a timer. Your matchups are easily seen, all that kind of thing. I think so it's good, right? Like I don't actually have complaints. I guess one thing I would want to say, which is like if there's a few things that we could make better, is that I guess the deck list portion. I guess those of you that compete, you will understand what I'm trying to say as well. Whereby the deck list portion of the like the head to head, like when I'm playing against this guy, some of the deck list stuff is a bit messy, but it's not like unreadable. It's just that I think could be cleaned up a little bit. Other than that, everything is actually really easy to follow. Like, I'm pretty sure those that are in the audience that also compete will agree with me that this is one of the better, if not best, tournament apps I've seen online in a long time.
Hey, Lamby.
what's up?
Sorted by cost in next build. Okay, don't worry.
All right, sure.
The deck list.
All right.
Awesome. Yeah, that's all the questions I got for you, Lamby. Anything else you want to say? Otherwise, yeah, we can let you go. Thanks so much for joining us and chatting a bit about leagues.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for having me as well. I didn't really plan what I wanted to say, to be honest, but like I guess I'm just rambling on about like stuff that I've been thinking about for a long time, and I guess some of the questions just like are in line with what I've been thinking about for a very long time. But all in all, I feel this parallel league thing it's a breath of fresh air. Like, I think I want to quote Tyler. You guys all know Tyler from YGG. Like he mentioned this a few times and also talk about it a lot, which is like competition like brings people together. Like it brings us together. It gives people something to cheer for. It gives competitors something to work towards. And like at the end of the day, I feel like a game without competition can only go so far because you are not creating anything for fans to root for, and you're not creating superstars for the fans to root for as well. So I feel like competition is super important, and that's one thing that Parallel is doing very correctly right now.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks again for joining us, Lamby. It was great to meet you IRL
Yeah.
last week, and we'll see you in Vegas.
All right. Thank you guys for having me. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Right. All right, and now we got Talon up. So yeah, Talon is one of the is a developer on the Tournament app. We'd love to sort of bring him up to kind of discuss what it's been like building this tool and all that. So yeah, welcome Talon.
Thank you. You can hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Okay.
I'm
gonna try and
yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
go ahead.
try things short
All right.
and sweet. I'm not much of a yapper,
Respect it. So awesome. How did you start working with Echelon, and sort of what have you built?
So I started working as a consultant, and originally I took over some of the website integrations as well as worked on some of the Ardent related products like the Ardent Pass. And now I work on the Echelon tournaments, and we built out the website and the functionalities for it.
Awesome. I guess so I guess we've kind of highlighted as far as the development roadmap goes, it is mostly focused on the tournament app right now for you. What are the features you're working on for the tournament app, and kind of what are you most excited about releasing there?
Yeah, so for the tournament app, we're primarily looking at two features right now. One of them is integrated monetization. So when users are sign up for tournaments, they'll be able to pay a Prime entry fee, and then they'll be able to get their rewards in Prime as automated as possible. Yeah. And the second feature that we're looking at right now is duels, which is a way for players to create rooms and do 1v1s for like a best of 1, best of 3, best of 5, however much or however many parameters they want to set, and with Prime at stake. Yeah, so you can win, lose Prime. Yeah, money matches basically. What am I most excited about? I'm pretty excited about the money matches. I like to see those. I like to see that go down, and I like to see narratives being born if they can.
Nice. Yeah, I wonder if we can maybe convince Mr. Kalos to play some money matches on stream against some of the community members. That'd be pretty cool. I guess maybe shifting to maybe more of the organized play stuff. How has your experience been working with pro players like Lamby and with the tournament organizers throughout season one as kind of like collaborators on the tournament app?
I think it's it's been pretty amazing to see how excited and enthusiastic people are about playing the game at the high level, at the competitive level, and I've been pretty into competitive esports in general, and I see the tournaments and parallel league as the place where narratives are like being born, right? And this is like where it's all going to start. So I'm pretty excited to see where it goes from here, right? This is only the first year. All of the pro players have been super helpful with feedback, bugs, anything. It goes right to us, and we get those fixed as soon as we can. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't have much else for you. I know it's late where you are. Anything else you want to share or that we haven't covered before let you get back to it?
No, thank you. Like I said, keep it short and sweet. Ciao.
All right, man. Love it. Thanks so much, Talon.
Thanks, Pio, for walking through that with Talon and Lamby. Hopefully that gives you guys here in the community an idea of kind of what's being built and kind of how professional gamers feel about the Parallel League. On our next section, we've got Nan to come up on stage and talk through some of the things that you guys, the community, have asked us about in the form. So take it away, Nan.
Hey, thank you, Sean. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me fine?
Loud and clear.
Thank you. I've forgotten everything. To be honest, the chat was crazy. So I don't remember my segment at all, but I will start by thanking everyone who responded to the survey. It was more than a dozen people, and that was great because we will hopefully, actually, we did want to do more surveys, and we will be doing them moving forward. There was a lot of hilarious responses as well, but there was some really good feedback in there. So just going to answer some of that stuff here because it is widely applicable to, I think, everyone. So the first thing we asked in the survey was how, according to you, should the growth of a Web3 gaming ecosystem be measured? And naturally, there's active wallets, there's active players, and there's both wallets and players. So majority of the people said that they would measure it by the number of active players, which is obviously the best way to measure it, as opposed to just the wallets. So to that effect, while the number of active wallets is a key metric within the space, we are in line with the community here. We are also collaborating closely with Parallel to focus on the number of active players and wallets and building on that and analyzing, the relationships there and the trends. So we are in the process of starting to do that. We also fully recognize, the strategic importance of this data, and we are committed to leveraging it effectively, which means, finding the trends over there, running some campaigns or measuring which activities increase the number of players over just the number of wallets and such. So we want to do that as well. We are aligned with the community there, and this is definitely going to ramp up with the mobile launch of the game because that is where we get a lot more data than the desktop version. Tordy in the chat is asking what is the number of active players. I can't really say that, but it's definitely billions and billions and billions. So the next question was, according to you, what should be the primary priority of a Web3 gaming ecosystem? So over here, the majority of the people think that promoting the onboarding of gamers and players should be the primary priority. Once again, that is the right answer, and we are aligned here as well because as opposed to just onboarding, for example, Web3 products and streamlining the ecosystem, which we are also doing, we are fully aligned with the community because our first priority has been onboarding gamers and players alongside the streamlining of the economy. So to this end, as my peers shared earlier, we have committed 500,000 to the Parallel League, which is a big commitment, and we at Echelon really want to see that through. Like we mentioned, there's also a season, a rebrand over there, refresh coming over there. So the next season, we are really planning to do exciting things there. I can't reveal all of them, but we do. The point here is that we prioritize this as well. We believe that we should definitely be onboarding more players and gamers, and to that effect, the Prime Chain announcement, if you guys saw recently, is also very key to onboarding players and growth in general, because it reduces the friction of Web3 features that are definitely a barrier in many ways. So that is, we are aligned there as well. The other question was if you guys, the community, wanted to share any examples of campaigns or activities, or just generally games that they think are doing good and having activities that are impactful. A lot of responses here as well. People mentioned Dota, for example. People mentioned how releasing games with good UI, UX, and stable patches. So stability in general should be good. They also mentioned ads from, for example, Call of Duty and such. And someone also said that the original partnership of Echelon with Parallel TCG and the PAX was great. So here also, once again, we do study a lot of game launches. Obviously, we all play games. We all in the community as well, the EPs as well. We're always discussing new launches as well as existing games. So we fully understand the need for quality games to be in the ecosystem. We are also working with Parallel. Obviously, we can't share, the details of all explorations, but what I can tell you is that, like I said, we are exploring these games. We are, kind of keeping tabs on what's happening, not just in the Web3 space, but primarily in the Web2 space as well. Because at the end of the day, we also believe that the games actually have to be fun, and as opposed to what others may be, focusing on. Because if the game is fun and the people have fun playing it, other things are complementing it, as opposed to other things being the primary factor and the games not being as much fun. So with Parallel, you'll see, obviously, I don't think anybody there. Obviously, people give feedback as to the stability of the launches and the patches, for example, and then the balancing issues. But I don't think anybody can say that the quality of the game itself and the graphics and all those things, that is compromised, because that has been the primary thing here, and we also really want to help keep that up. The other thing, I think the last thing was, what would you guys like to see Echelon doing more of? So there was a lot of funny responses here as well, but in general, the good feedback, once again, I'm very happy to say that we are fully aligned with a lot of the feedback here with the community. So for example, people said that they want to see us doing more awareness campaigns, more paid marketing, more onboarding of other games and such, promoting prime syncs and holding regular town hall meetings and such. So as for the getting community feedback, like I said, we're going to do definitely more surveys. We have already planned some town halls in the future. I think we had a great one with Bonds. We loved it. And we definitely want to do more there. As for the products, broadly speaking, we we're always reading the Discord, and we are seeing the feedback that comes for example, Sanctuary, the marketplace, and we've also been excited about the feedback that came in for the tournaments app and such. For the marketplace, I can't address everything here, obviously, but I will say that there's goals and directions for each project, and some things are necessary infrastructure for the ecosystem, and other products are likely to be more popular. So the tournament app, for example, is a popular app, and it's only going to get more integrated with, for example, Parallel League and such. So it is set up that way, and people are likely to use it in that way. But in general, in the Web3 space, deadlines and scopes change a lot more, unlike traditional products, because there's a difference in the user behavior and incentives between Web2 users and Web3 users. So I feel, this is obviously my own personal view, is that this also means that Web3 products don't always respond to the strategies that people assume that work for Web2 products. But that being said, once again, we are on top of it. We continue to explore new products, and we are definitely, as opposed to what maybe the community may think, but we are definitely exploring a lot more products. We are working on in parallel on small things, and we are working on MVPs. I think in the roadmap, I saw some things revealed there as well. But we are definitely doing that. And we also experiment a lot, and we also, for example, with the bonds, we are doing alpha testing, and this is another thing that we want to do in the future with small MVP kind of launches, where we will give limited access, hopefully, to some handful selected community members, and then build on those products with feedback in tandem. So these are some of the things that we're working on 100%. And there's, like Sat said, we're always working on a ton of stuff. And we are also reading the Discord. So any positive feedback or negative feedback, to be honest, we are reading all of that. We are definitely discussing it on. I'm not going to say we're discussing it every day, every hour of the day, because we have work as well. But we are definitely discussing all of those things. We're noting them down. We are trying to rectify any things that we think we can do better, and that has definitely been the case for all of us here. So thank you again to the community for responding, with such positive feedback. We'll definitely do more surveys, especially leading up to new stuff, and hopefully we'll see even more responses. Thank you again.
Thanks, Dad. Appreciate you covering all that off and fielding the responses from the community. You guys out there are comedians, and I think you've all missed an actual opportunity there. So we thank you for those. So we are at time. We're going to close out on the Growth and Parallel League call. We appreciate everybody for coming out and showing up and offering your feedback. We value it. As Nan said, we take it in, we consider it, and we work within the structures that we've kind of set up. And we're always trying to improve things. So, a quick synopsis of what we covered. We talked through the growth initiatives by Echelon in this year and what we are working on looking ahead. Steele covered off the product vision roadmap that we've got for near term and short term into 2025. And you interviewed Lamby and Talon to highlight kind of what we've been working on the tournament app side of things with some of the developers, as well as highlight the incredible feedback that we've gotten from the pros in the community. And then lastly, Dane covered off your questions. So I think with that, we're ready to close things out. And we appreciate you all showing up and spending some of your time of your day with us. So thank you. And if you have any more questions, we're happy to take those into chat.